Here's my top 15 roller coasters of 2023. At number 15 is Millennium Force, the world's first giga coaster that stands at a height of 310 feet and has a top speed of 93 miles an hour, making it one of the fastest coasters in the world. However, this ride lacks any good forces and does not have the airtime of the newer B&M Giga coasters. That's why it can't be any higher. Number 14 is the Beast, a built-in-house wooden roller coaster that has a max drop of 141 feet and has a top speed of 65 miles an hour. This ride is best known for being the world's longest wooden roller coaster at a length of 7,361 feet, giving a near 5-minute ride. The best part of the Beast is the ending helix, having some good forces. However, this ride lacks any airtime and can be rough in spots when sitting in a wheel seat, and includes many dead spots. That's why it can't be any higher. Number 13 is Gatekeeper at Cedar Point, a wing coaster that stands at a height of 170 feet and has a top speed of 67 miles an hour and includes 6 inversions and its 4,164 feet of track. This ride is not super forceful, but has some good near-miss elements and can have some nice forces in some of the inversions, but that lack of forces throughout the ride is why it can't be any higher. Number 12 is Raging Bull at Six Flags Great America, one of the first B&M hypers that stands at a height of 202 feet and has a top speed of 73 miles an hour. This ride has a nice twister layout, but has less of a focus on large camelback hills, but still has a nice mix of airtime, making this a very nice coaster, but it can't rank any higher due to it not being intense enough to have a lack of airtime. Number 11 is Banshee, the B&M invert that opened in 2014, standing at a height of 167 feet and hitting a top speed of 68 miles an hour and packing in 7 versions in its 4,124 feet of track, packing in some nice forces, which you feel most in the back row. However, this ride has a nasty rattle and does not have the whip of the older inverted coasters. That's why it can't be any higher. Starting off the top 10 is Magnum XL200, the world's first hypercoaster that stands at a height of 205 feet and hits a top speed of 72 miles an hour. This ride is known for the ending, which gives some amazing airtime on the triangle airtime hills. However, this ride is rough and does not offer much other than the ending, and that's why it can't be any higher. At number 9 is Raptor, another B&M invert. However, this one has better forces and has some more whip, as it has tighter inversions as the older inverts, standing at a height of 137 feet and hitting a top speed of 57 miles an hour and packing in 6 inversions in its 3,790 feet of track. This ride has some great pacing, but does feel kind of short, but does not have as much of a rattle as an invert like Banshee, but there is still one. That's why it can't be any higher. Number 8 is Diamondback at Kings Island, one of the newer B&M hybrids that stands at a height of 230 feet and has a top speed of 80 miles an hour. This ride focuses on camelbacks and has some great airtime. However, this ride lacks any kind of intense elements and sometimes can have a rattle, but is not noticeable on most rides. Number 7 is Max Force at Six Flags Great America, a S&S launch coaster that stands at a height of 175 feet and has a top speed of 78 miles an hour, packing in 5 inversions in its 1,800 feet of track. This ride is super intense and has some good elements like the world's fastest inversion, but this ride is so short at only 23 seconds, and that's why it can't rank any higher. Number 6 is Fury 325 at Carowind, the world's tallest roller coaster with a lift hill that stands at a height of 325 feet and has a top speed of 95 miles an hour. This ride has some good airtime, but the first drop is not near as good as Orion's, even if you're in the back row, and also it can sometimes have a crack in the supports, but when it's running, it's a great ride with some airtime and sometimes whip. Starting the top 5 is Copperhead Strike at Carowind, the mock launch that stands at a height of 82 feet and it's a top speed of 50 miles an hour. This ride focuses on hang time, with the best part of the ride being the JoJo roll that feels unsafe. This ride also mixes in some decent airtime, however the launch lacks any kind of punch, and that's why it can't be any higher. Number 4 is Goliath at Six Flags Great America, an RMC topper track coaster that stands at a height of 165 feet and has a drop of 180 feet, hitting a top speed of 72 miles an hour. This ride has 2 good airtime moments and has a great stall. However, this ride is very short and does not have the airtime of other RMCs. That's why it can't be any higher. At number 3 is Orion, the B&M Giga coaster that stands at a height of 287 feet and has a drop of 300 feet, hitting a max speed of 91 miles an hour. This ride has some good airtime on the first drop in the back row, on the speed hill, and also on the banked airtime hill before the brakes. However, you can sometimes get stapled and miss out on this airtime. That's why it can't be any higher, and also because number 1 and number 2 are just that good. Number 2 is Maverick, the intimate blitz that stands at a height of 105 feet and has a top speed of 70 miles an hour. Maverick has a nice mix of airtime and whip, and has a great second launch which is very forceful, leading to a great ride. Maverick is very smooth, but does have lots of downtime. This ride is great, but is not close to number 1. Steel Vengeance, the RMC Hyper Hybrid that stands at a height of 205 feet and has a top speed of 74 miles an hour. This ride has some great ejector airtime throughout the ride and has some whippy inversions. This ride runs best in the third row, with you really feeling all the airtime and also the whip. This ride has my favorite drop on any coaster as it launches you out of your seat. Give me your thoughts. Give me your favorite coasters in the comments below so I can rate them. Bye guys, see you all next time.